And welcome inside the Emerson Gym at the Haas Athletic Center on the campus of Wheaton College in Norton, Massachusetts. Tonight we have a NEWMAC Conference women's basketball matchup. It's between the Wheaton College Lions hosting the Mount Holyoke College Lions. This is Sal Lopez in the call today for the NEWMAC Sports Network, and welcome into the broadcast. Wheaton College enters the matchup with a record of 8-7 overall. They're 0-1 in NEWMAC Conference play so far. 2-3 in their home floor for Wheaton. They've won 2 straight home games in a row over Plymouth State and Eastern Connecticut State. Wheaton coming off a loss on the road at the U.S. Coast Guard Academy, 84-65 on Saturday. Mount Holyoke, a record of 2-13 overall this season, 0-1 in NEWMAC Conference play. They're 0-8 on the road this season. For Mount Holyoke College, they've lost 2 straight games in a row entering this matchup. Today will be the 55th all-time meeting in the series between Wheaton and Mount Holyoke. Wheaton leads the all-time series with 44 victories and 11 losses dating back to 1977. Wheaton's won 14 straight games against Mount Holyoke. 13 out of the previous 14 victories for Wheaton have come by double digits. And for Wheaton, they've won 12 straight home games against Mount Holyoke since 2009. The last victory for Mount Holyoke came back in 2013 against Wheaton, 51-49 at Mount Holyoke's home court in South Hadley. That was over 1 year ago when Mount Holyoke last won against Wheaton. The last road victory for Mount Holyoke, that came back in 2006 here at Wheaton. 72-64 was the final score 18 years ago. Both of these teams met up against each other last season. That was in the 2023 regular season finale. Wheaton won on the road at Mount Holyoke 62-36, the final score, back on February 15, 2023. Wheaton winning last year's regular season finale locked up that bid as the number 7 seed in the NEWMAC tournament last season. So Wheaton College allowed their second lowest points total last season, 36 points allowed in the victory to Mount Holyoke. So Wheaton doubled Mount Holyoke points in the paint, 24-12 in the matchup. Wheaton also shot the ball well from the perimeter. They went 9 for 21 from three-point range at just under 43% from the perimeter. Those 9 made threes were tied for the most made threes in a single game last season for Wheaton College. And their defense as well was outstanding, limiting Mount Holyoke to shoot just 1 for 18 from three-point range in last season's victory. Kiki Walters last year scored a game-high 15 points. She had 4 steals. Today, she is listed out due to injury for Walters in this matchup entering in. Madeline Dewey, she added 13 points in the previous matchup against Mount Holyoke last year. She shot 5 for 7 from the floor, 3 for 4 from three-point range. Abby Fernandez tallied in 11 total points, 6 rebounds, and 4 assists while shooting 5 for 9 on the court the last time Wheaton faced Mount Holyoke. And then for Mount Holyoke, Marley Borano, she scored a team-high 13 points. And then Taryn Wright added in 9 points alongside a game-high 8 rebounds for Mount Holyoke. Wheaton College looking to bounce back. They're coming off a loss at the U.S. Coast Guard Academy, 84-65 on Saturday. Coast Guard, excellent season for them. Record of 12-3 overall, picking up their first NEWMAC Conference victory of this season in the NEWMAC opener. Saturday's loss for Wheaton, that snapped a 4-game winning streak in which Wheaton allowed all 4 previous opponents in that winning streak to score under 50 points. Wins over Gordon, UMass Boston, Plymouth State, and EastCon before their loss against Coast Guard on Saturday. One key in that matchup for Wheaton against Coast Guard happened to be the deep rotation for Wheaton as they tallied the bench points 25-9 in Wheaton's favor in the matchup. Also, they led the rebounds +9 in the glass, 46-37 against Coast Guard, but what crushed their opportunities happened to be turnovers. It was 21 total turnovers by Wheaton, just 10 by Coast Guard in the loss on Saturday. Regan Cater coming off a team-high 15 points. For Wheaton, Kiki Walters scored 13 points. Abby Fernandez added in 10 points for the Lions. Mount Holyoke coming off a loss on the road at Salve Regina in Newport, 77-29 on Saturday. 48-point victory by Salve Regina. 7 different scores for Mount Holyoke in the game, but all those players were held to 7 points or fewer, as Mount Holyoke will look to see if they can turn it around. They turned over the basketball 30 times in the last game. They got outscored by Salve Regina 36-4 in points in the paint. Upcoming, Wheaton College taking on Mount Holyoke here inside the Emerson Gym. Is coming up here, we'll have the action on the NEWMAC Sports Network. Starting lineups upcoming here with the national anthem.
Wheaton College, the NUMAC, and the NCAA promote good sportsmanship by student-athletes, coaches, and spectators. We request your cooperation by supporting the participants and officials in a positive manner. Profanity, derogatory comments, homophobic remarks, or other intimidating actions directed at officials, student-athletes, coaches, or team representatives will not be tolerated, and the grounds are removed from a said competition. Also, consumption and possession of alcoholic beverages is prohibited. At this time, we ask that you please rise and able. Remove your hats for the playing of the national anthem. And now let's meet the starting lineups. First, for the Mount Holyoke College Lions. At junior guard, from Douglas, New York, number 4, Katie Brown. From Wheaton College, sophomore forward from Highland, Colorado, number 10, Reagan Hayter. From Mount Holyoke College, sophomore guard from Foxborough, Massachusetts, number 12, Libby Harris. For Wheaton, sophomore guard from Greenville, South Carolina, number 14, Madeline Dewey. From Mount Holyoke College, a senior center from Molly Yonda, number 21, Nicole Vitale. For Wheaton College, junior guard from Massachusetts, Massachusetts, number 22, Abby Hernandez. From Mount Holyoke College, a Christian guard from London, New Hampshire, number 23, Hannah Dolan. For Wheaton, first year guard from Fort St. Illinois, number 23, Tatum Young. From Mount Holyoke College, a first year guard from Redwood, Pennsylvania, number 32, Eva Taberski. For Wheaton College, sophomore forward from North Reading, Massachusetts, number 42, Nasha Arnold. Mount Holyoke College is coached by Jackie Ward, assisted by Divya Srinivasan and Alyssa Barrett. For Wheaton, the Lions are coached by Allison Cherna, assisted by George Moretti and Natalie Wynn. Officials for tonight's game are Scott Carlson, Michael Brennan, and Taryn O'Neill.
And welcome inside the Emerson Gym at the Haas Athletic Center on the campus of Wheaton College in Norton, Massachusetts. Tonight we have a NUMAC Conference women's basketball matchup. It's game number 2 of conference play. It's between the Wheaton College Lions hosting the Mount Holyoke College Lions. This is Sal Lopez in the call tonight for the NUMAC Sports Network, and welcome into the broadcast. Wheaton College enters the matchup, a record of 8-7 overall this season, 0-1 in NUMAC conference play. looking to get on the board for their first conference victory this season. They're 2-3 in their home court, coming off a loss on the road in the conference opener on Saturday at the U.S. Coast Guard Academy, 84-65. Mount Holyoke, record of 2-13 overall, 0-1 in NEWMAC conference play, 0-8 on the road, coming off 2 straight losses. Their previous loss, they lost against Salve Regina in the conference opener in Newport, 77-29 on Saturday. Wheaton white uniforms controlling the opening tip. Arnold powers her way downhill, missed the layup off the front rim as Mount Holyoke collects the defensive rebound. Mount Holyoke, dark blue uniforms, white numbers, white letters, going right to left on the floor. Wheaton, left to right with a home white jerseys, blue numbers, blue letters. Top of the key, number 23, Hannah Goen, drawing the start today in this matchup alongside Ava Taberski, Libby Harris, Katie Ra, and Nicole Lutalo, the 5 starters for Mount Holyoke as they turn it over. Wheaton's 5 starters for this matchup: Regan Cater, Madeline Dewey getting the start in place of Kiki Walters today, Abby Fernandez, Tatum Young, and Nasha Arnold. Second possession now for Wheaton at the wing with Cater. Cater lobs it down inside Arnold, out to the free throw circle driving. Young moves it inside off the turnaround. It's good. Up and in off the glass. Nasha Arnold good for 2. Arnold, the sophomore forward from North Reading, Massachusetts, on the board, making her 16th start this season, 4th in the team in scoring, averaging above 8 points per game this season. Possession number 2 now for Mount Holyoke. Raw bounce pass goes into the corner. Harris back out to the top. It's Tara White who has the ball. Guarded by Dewey. Spin move, dribbles inside. Draws a double team. Pass to the baseline, bobbled. Caught though by Latalo. Shot clock down to 5. And intercepted by Fernandez. Out in transition now for Fernandez. Attacking right to the cup. She scores. Up and in off the backboard. 4-zip. The steal and a layup there by Abby Fernandez. And a big key is to see if she can start to get going. She has yet to reach the 20-plus point mark this season. Their season high 19 against Eastern Connecticut State on January the 6th. Blocked down low by Regan Cater. Great rejection there as Wheaton has it back. Young. Kick out to the corner, Dewey. Dewey with a career high against EastCon back on January 6th, 25 points. And Nasha Arnold, she gets another 2. Quick 4 points on the board now for Arnold as the Lions of Wheaton College extend the lead 6-0. Both of these teams, Lions, Lyons. Same nickname as Mount Holyoke, missed off the top of the glass. Wheaton has it back. The lob goes to Arnold. Outside to the top. Here's a 3 Cater straight away. Off the back rim, no good. Deflected. Mount Holyoke pulls up with a defensive rebound. Up the floor, loose ball. Mount Holyoke having a lot of trouble this season in the turnover department, averaging around 30 turnovers per game, and Wheaton came up with a steal on the key. And right back it will go to Mount Holyoke. Traveling violation called in the loose ball by Cater. So this will stay Mount Holyoke basketball as we see Nasha Arnold towards the bench area. She'll check out of the game right now. Number 5, Emma Kiernan checks in, the senior forward from Wayland, Massachusetts right now for Wheaton. Inbound goes to Mount Holyoke. Still scoreless, looking to change that to 3. Off the mark, missed by Harris. Second chance, though, as they tiptoe the baseline with it. Almost gave it away, able to move it back to the top, though, with Harris. Harris. That's going to be an offensive foul. Fernandez trying to fight around the screen, and it's committed. On a turnover there by Mount Holyoke, charged to Nicole Latalo, the first personal foul of the game, charged to Mount Holyoke. So Wheaton with it back, 6-0. Nasha Arnold, 2 field goals made. Dewey at the wing takes the 3. Off the back rim, no good. A rebound pulled in by Raw for Mount Holyoke. 55th all-time meeting between these two programs today. Wheaton College dominant in the all-time series, 44 victories and 11 losses dating back to 1977. And Wheaton's won 14 straight games against Mount Holyoke, 13 of those been by double-digit victories. Mount Holyoke with it. Shot clock winds down to 8. They float up the runner. Missed short. Great save there at the baseline by Dewey. They gave it back, though, to Mount Holyoke. 6.5 left to go in the first quarter. Defensive battle so far between these two teams. Mount Holyoke in the 400s and scoring. And the nation looking for their first points of the game, and they missed the jumper at the free throw circle. Fernandez. She's got 2 so far off the steal. Passes out to the top. Cater launches the 3. Swoosh. She makes it from downtown by Regan Cater. And a timeout taken on the floor by Mount Holyoke. 9-0 to score. Two made field goals by Nasha Arnold. A field goal made by Abby Fernandez, and Regan Cater on the board with a 3, and a great start here. The second game of conference action this season in NEWMAC conference play for the Wheaton College Lions. 9-0, Wheaton College leads as we take the timeout here on the NEWMAC Sports Network. Excellent start so far for Wheaton College in this matchup as they lead 9-0 at the moment. Regan Cater buried the first triple of the game. She entered today's matchup just under 10 points per game this season for Cater. She's got a double-double as well this season. 13 points with a career high, 11 rebounds against LaSalle University in the victory on November the 15th. Her career high was in the opener, 18 points against Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute on November the 10th. Back from the timeout, under 6 minutes left to go in the first. Mount Holyoke with possession, top of the key with Ava Taberski. Got the start today in this matchup in place of Taryn White. Out to the wing, goes over to Rod. Here's it out to the baseline. Jumper taken by Mount Holyoke, missed off the back rim, no good by Dean. Wheaton once again on the floor, looks to push it. Cater straight away, takes another one. She makes it. Bing, bing, top of the key. It is good by Regan Cater. Off the bounce for the triple. Regan Cater was named NEWMAC Defensive Athlete of the Week for Week 3 this season. She recorded 13 points with 7 rebounds, 3 blocks, and 1 steal in a victory over Johnson and Wales on November 21st. Mount Holyoke searching for answers here. Bottom of the nation, inside the 400s. In Division III women's basketball and points scored per game, blocked down low by Cater. Underneath, they'll try again the pass. Intercepted in the key by Boston here for Wheaton. Jasperson, skip pass left corner, Fernandez. Dribbles baseline, Fernandez up. She'll draw the blocking foul. So 2 free throws coming up here at the line for Abby Fernandez. 2022 NEWMAC Rookie of the Year. This season, she's averaging 9.7 points per game right now for Fernandez. That is down from her previous 2 seasons where the number's taken a dip. She averaged 13.7 points per game in her first season, 11.7 points per game last season for Fernandez, but looking to see if she can have a signature game in her. Yet to reach the 20-plus point mark this season, season high 19 against Endicott on November 18th. Missed the first free throw. 9 games so far this season, scoring in double figures for Fernandez. She's got 2 so far today, looking to make it 3. She does. 13-0 Wheaton. They've had a lot of lopsided victories lately because of their strong defense. Plymouth State on early January 4th. January 6th won by 30 against EastCon, 75-45. Mount Holyoke finally able to get on the board. Good for 2 up underneath. Baseline dribble, Boston trying to thread the needle. Intercepted by Howe, but she was out of bounds, so it will stay Wheaton basketball. So Wheaton will maintain possession right now. Excellent start so far for the home squad. Looking to get to be 2 games above 500. They're searching to be for the second time this season. The lob down low to Kiernan. A transfer from Wesleyan University of Connecticut commits the travel violation now. So turnover committed by Wheaton. From Mount Holyoke, they've recorded 2 victories this season, a record of 2-13 from Mount Holyoke. They turn it over. Dewey up the floor, driving downhill to the rim. No good. Arnold, chance for the putback. She got it. Great teamwork right there, helping out one another. Nasha Arnold, first basket today. The 2 wins came against MCLA 54-53 on December the 2nd. That's their best win this season. MCLA record of 4-12. Libby Harris from Mount Holyoke made a game-winning 3-point shot with 30 seconds left to go. The other victory came at home against Leslie University last week on January the 9th. Final score is 58-50. Deflected down low. Arnold collects the steal. Leslie yet to win this season, record of 0-14. Mount Holyoke had a season low at 13 turnovers in that matchup. They average around 30 this season. Kick out to the corner. Jasperson off to Boston. Swoosh. She drills the 3-ball. On the board for Anaya Boston. Rips it through the chute. She's in her first season from Linden, New Jersey. Career high 5 points she had against Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute and against Plymouth State as well this season for Boston. Baseline dribble. Howe dribbles up, floats up the shot, no good, over the rim. And it's Arnold who came up with the basketball. Dewey swings it out to the corner. Boston fires again. She's got another one. That's a new career high by Anaya Boston in her first season from Linden, New Jersey. 6 quick points since she has checked into the game here for Boston. 21 on the board for Wheaton with under 3 minutes left to go in the first quarter. And great sign to see here for Wheaton College. Their offense exploding. They've had a lot of trouble this season so far scoring. Ranking 10th in the NUMAC in average points per game, under 60 points per game this season. Up the floor, Jasperson. Baseline dribble to the cup, missed the layup. Mount Holyoke just 2 so far in this entire quarter. Teal Howe, senior guard from Florence, South Carolina, turned it over. Boston 2-on-1, up the floor in transition. Easy layup. It is made by Kenneth Jasperson, the sophomore guard from Sacramento, California. Everything clicking here for the home squad so far. Turning those Mount Holyoke turnovers into points on the board. And could not get it a drop, but there'll be 2 shots coming up at the free throw line here for Hannah Goen in her first season from New London, New Hampshire. So 2 minutes left to go now in the first quarter. Big key for Wheaton College this season has been their depth on the roster. They have 11 players averaging at least 11 minutes per game. Ranking 3rd in the NUMAC, averaging 18.9 bench points per game this season for Wheaton. And so far, they've been able to get a balance of scoring. Regan Cater, Nasha Arnold, Anaya Boston with 6 points each. Abby Fernandez with 2 so far. Went empty that trip at the free throw line for Mount Holyoke. So 2 critical free throws to put more points on the board they couldn't get. Bounce pass top of the key. Maddie Mueller lobs it down low. Arnold swings it out on top. Jasperson, jab step around the perimeter. Step back 3 in the air. Off the front iron, no good. The rebound goes back to Boston though. Mueller circles around. Swings it out to the corner. Here's a 3 launched. Off the back iron, no good by Dewey. And a loose ball foul picked up, charge to Mount Holyoke. So that'll be charged to Jamison Dean, her first personal foul for Mount Holyoke, as we got multiple substitutions here for Wheaton. Back into the game, Tatum Young. Fernandez back on the floor, as well as Cater right now. Dewey, Jasperson, and Mueller went to the bench. Inbound Fernandez, outside to the top, goes to Cater. Swings it out to her left to Boston. Career high, 6 points, looking to add to a baseline drive. Right to the rim, scores, up and in off the backboard. Up to 8 points. Bursting out on the scene here for Anaya Boston in the first quarter of action for Wheaton College. What a start here for Wheaton. Getting to the rim, making their threes early on against Mount Holyoke. Get ahead, stay ahead, the motto in this matchup. And right now, they are delivering up by 23. Attacking downhill. Blocked out of bounds by Cater. Big impact so far. That's our 4th block of the game already. In the first quarter alone by Regan Cater. Mount Holyoke just searching for answers here offensively. Been a struggle to get anything going on as they turn it over out of bounds. That's their 7th turnover now of the first quarter of action. They're coming off a loss where they got pounded on the road against Salve Regina on Saturday. Final score of that game was 77-29. That resulted in a 48-point victory for Salve Regina. Wheaton already up by 23. Closing out the final 40 seconds here of the first quarter. Fernandez, jumper, mid-range. Around and out, no good. Rebound ripped away by Goff as it will be going in Mount Holyoke's direction. A personal foul picked up, charged to Cater. Positive sign here for Wheaton to score 25 right now in the first quarter. most points that they've scored this season in a single game, 75 against Curry College and Eastern Connecticut State. They have a chance to break that mark today as they're already a quarter of the way to 100 right now on the board. Right to the defense. That's the best look they've seen all day. Teal Howe scores the layup for Mount Holyoke. Slithery right there past the defense. 5 seconds left to go now in the first. Young towards her left, dribbles up, takes the jumper deep two. Missed off the back rim as we close out at the end of the first quarter. It's all Wheaton College. 25-4 to score at the end of one. For the home squad from Norton, Massachusetts right now, Nia Boston with a new career high in the first quarter alone. She made 2 threes along with a bucket inside as well. She's perfect. 3 for 3 from the floor. 8 points by Nia Boston, setting a new career high at the moment. Right behind her are 2 teammates, Regan Cater and Nasha Arnold, delivering for 6 points each. Abby Fernandez and Kenneth Jasperson both with 2 points each so far for the Lions, putting 5 players in the scoring column at the end of the first quarter. Wheaton bench points, 10-2 in that favor. Points in the paint, 12-2 so far for Wheaton College. And also able to score 6 points off the Mount Holyoke turnovers. Mount Holyoke really struggling, keeping the ball out in front. They've turned it over 7 times in the first quarter of action. 1 quarter complete. It's all Wheaton College, 25-4 to score. We'll be back upcoming for quarter number 2 on the NewMax Sports Network. Excellent start here for Wheaton College, looking to get on the board for their first conference victory of the season for Wheaton, and looking to improve to 2 games above 500 for the second time this season. Best record has been 2 games above 500 for the Lions as we come back to action. Start of the second quarter, and a steal down the far side of the floor. It is Madeline Dewey with a steal, dumped it down low, intercepted though by Howe from Mount Holyoke. Both defensive plays on each of the sides of the floor right there. And Teal Howe able to score a driving layup. The last basket made. There's one. Able to drop down from Mount Holyoke. It is number 20, Emma Goff, the first-year center from Cohasset, Massachusetts. Fernandez bounce pass to the top. Arnold off to Dewey. Dribbles up. Swings it back outside. Chases it to the backcourt, though. That's a backcourt violation. So Mount Holyoke starting to bring together a much better start here to this quarter than how they started off the game in the first. A layup made and a forced turnover for a backcourt violation committed by Wheaton. Mount Holyoke has yet to win over Wheaton since 2013. It's been over a decade since the last Mount Holyoke victory. 51-49 over 1 decade ago. The last road win for Mount Holyoke here inside the Emerson Gym was back in 2006. 18 years ago, 72-64. Out of bounds off the missed shot by Mount Holyoke. Back it goes to Wheaton. Wheaton's won 14 straight games against Mount Holyoke, 13 of those by double-digit margins. 44-11 in the all-time series in favor of Wheaton against Mount Holyoke, as this is the 56th all-time meeting today. Missed shot at the rim, no good for Wheaton. Mount Holyoke going to slow down the possession now with Barano. Barano towards the right around the perimeter, sends it off to Teal Howe. Jacks up the 3. Goes wide to the rim and out of bounds. It's been a streaky season this year for Wheaton College. 2 straight victories at home they've got in a row, allowing both opponents to under 50 points, Plymouth State and Eastern Connecticut State, in the previous 2 victories. We've got winning streaks of 3 straight road wins from November 15th through November 21st. Some of those the best wins that they've had this season. LaSalle, Endicott, and Johnson and Wales in that mix. Mount Holyoke back with it inside a low post off the pivot. They'll draw the blocking foul. So Emma Goff will head to the free throw line. And this will be the second trip today from Mount Holyoke at the free throw line. Wheaton had another winning streak of 4 straight victories. That's the most that they've paired together this season for a winning streak. That was from December 31st through January 6th. In that 4-game winning streak, they held all 4 opponents to under 50 points. Wins over Gordon, UMass Boston, Plymouth States, and Eastern Connecticut States in all non-conference action games. That's been the key this season. Right now, just 6 points allowed against Mount Holyoke with around 8 minutes remaining before halftime. Wheaton, key on the defensive side of the floor as Mount Holyoke goes empty again at the free throw line. 8-1 record when they've allowed their opponents to under 67 points or less. Right now, this game is looking very promising at the moment. Fernandez at the elbow, swings it off to Arnold. Arnold with 6, spin move down low off the top of the glass, no good. And tipped out of bounds, last touch by Mount Holyoke. The key so far for Wheaton, 25 points in the first quarter. Helpful towards their offense. Their offense had been struggling this season. Coming into this game, 10th in the NUMAC, averaging around 59.9 points per game. Anaya Boston's been excellent, though. Moves it out to the opposite side to Fernandez. And we're going to have a turnover committed here, charged to Wheaton. That's on Nasha Arnold, away from the basketball, picks up the offensive foul. So Mount Holyoke down by 19 right now, looking to see if they can cut the deficit. Tio Howell puts the ball into the hands to Harris now. Harris guarded by Boston, top of the key. Swings it off to the left wing, Cordes. Bounce pass, low block, outside it goes Harris to the corner. Moves it out across, intercepted, jumping the route by Fernandez. Fernandez already 1 bucket made off the steal. Couldn't convert that time as she comes crashing down hard into the padding. On the fast break, Mount Holyoke delivers. Emma Goff gets the buckets out in transition for Mount Holyoke. There's Wheaton wide open. Regan Cater up and in off the glass, scores the layup. 27-8, back to a 19-point lead. Howe, left baseline dribble, tiptoed and got fouled. That will be charged to Regan Cater. And that will be now Cater's second personal foul. So Cater will check out of the game now. She heads towards the bench. Maddie Mueller back onto the floor here for Wheaton with a commanding 19-point lead. Right now looking for their first conference victory of the season for Wheaton. That's an offensive foul. Fernandez goes down hard. And that will be charged to Nicole Atalo. That's her second personal foul from the country of Uganda. For Mount Holyoke. Mount Holyoke represented on the roster. 11 different U.S. states, 1 international country being Uganda. With 16 total players, 4 seniors, 3 juniors, 4 sophomores, and 5 first-year players. Kiernan, hand off to Young, dribbles up, kick out to the corner. Boston open 3. Off the mark, no good. Tipped over to Mueller for the offensive rebound. Flung it away, though, as it goes out of bounds. Gotta like the start, though, of Anaya Boston, aggressive from the perimeter, making those corner threes. Has a great stroke so far in this game from the outside. She is the top scorer with 8 points currently. What a start here for Wheaton College. Only got 2 points, though, in the second quarter of action. To the wing, Cordes. Cordes turns the corner towards her left, puts the ball in the corner into the hands to Harris. Harris guarded by Boston. Outside to Cordes. Shot clock down to 8. Top of the key now, Harris working on Boston still. Dribble drive up. Floats up the shot. Wild missed it. The bench of Mount Holyoke, they were in disbelief. They thought that she was going to make that circus type of shot. Mueller, nice move underneath. Couldn't get the first one, though. Got the basketball back. Boston, open, corner, 3. She's got it. Bang, bang, baby. Anaya Boston on her 3-point game today, adding to her career high total. She's got 11. Double-digit club for Boston in the first time of her Wheaton College women's basketball career. 30-8 right now for Wheaton. Tough shot. No good off the mark. Missed by Cordes as she went for a turnaround fall away. Fernandez quick up the floor. Got it back in the corner. Moves it outside off to Young. Young at the right wing. Sends it on top. Up fake, dribbles up Kieran. Outside finds Boston. Touch pass, baseline jumper, Fernandez. bricked it off the back rim with a rebound going to Goff. Wheaton College right now +3 in the rebound column, 17 of 14. One of the strong suits for Mount Holyoke has been the rebounding for them this season, as this will be going in Wheaton's direction. Wheaton right now with the points in the paint, number 14-8 in this game. That's how every single basket's been made by Mount Holyoke, points in the paint. Points off turnover, 7-0 right now for Wheaton. Efficiency been a key so far. Wheaton College 4 for 9 from the perimeter. The most made threes that they made this season was 10 in the 75-45 victory over Eastern Connecticut State on January the 6th. Boston outside to the corner. Dewey laces up a three. Off the rim, no good. A rebound control by Howell for Mount Holyoke. Down to 4:20 left to go before halftime. Madeline Dewey, she had a career-high 25 points against East Con, making 5 threes in the 30-point victory on January 6th, as we have a turnover committed by Mount Holyoke. Offensive foul down low, picked up. Charge to Libby Harris. Wheaton came out hot in the first quarter, 10 for 18 shooting. They've cooled off, though, in the second quarter, just 2 for 10. One of those being a three by Boston. Dewey gave up a three right there. Outside, it goes to Mueller, launches up a three. Off the back rim, no good. Goes back to Mount Holyoke. And a travel right at the midcourt logo, charged to Mount Holyoke. So a lot of struggles for the program from Mount Holyoke. 7 straight seasons with 2 victories or less. Right now, record of 2-13 overall. The previous 7 seasons have looked like this: 0-24 going back to the 2015-2016 season, 2-22 the 2016-2017 season, 0-24 2017-2018, 1-24 2018-2019, 1-24 same record in 2019-2020. Went 2-16 in the 2021-22 season. Last season, 2-23 record. Inside is Dewey, able to bake it home off the glass for 2. Mount Holyoke is yet to win a conference game this season, yet to win a conference game since 2015, their last win, which was against Smith College. 54-52 on the road 9 years ago was the last NEWMAC conference victory for Mount Holyoke, as Wheaton turns it over. Down to 3 minutes left to go before halftime here. Just 8 points on the board for Mount Holyoke. As we will have a timeout here taken on the floor. Actually, it will be an offensive foul here picked up by Mount Holyoke on their side. So this will go Wheaton's direction right now. So pointing in the Mount Holyoke direction, offensive foul picked up. Excellent game so far for Wheaton College. Their defense has led the way this season. 4 straight victories before their loss against Coast Guard on Saturday, allowing opponents to 50 points or fewer. Mount Holyoke here in transition. Wheaton's defense able to get back, as now Mount Holyoke has to slow it down. Jamison Dean slides it off to the left wing, off to Harris. 2.5 left to go before halftime. Harris towards the right around the perimeter. Going, crossover, bounce pass goes to the elbow. Missed the layup. A lot of contact, though, and a foul as well. See 2 coming up at the line for Hannah Goen. Wheaton College led by their head coach, Allison Cherno, interim head coach. Announced head coach in the offseason in her 3rd year in the Wheaton College women's basketball staff. She graduated from Emory University in 2020. She was a 4-year member of the Emory University women's basketball team. And Cherno, the head coach, ranked 6th all-time in program history at Emory in 3-point field goals and assists. On the other side for Mount Holyoke, they are led by Jackie Ward in her 6th season. Ward was a 4-year standout at Binghamton University out in the America East Conference, Division I, from 2007 to 2011. She played in every single game during her collegiate career. Started off as a graduate assistant at Nazareth University in New York from 2011 to 2014. Wheaton College will head to the free throw line, shoot 2 coming up here. Ward then was a graduate assistant coach at Smith College from 2014 to 2016, and then a former assistant coach for Hartwick College in New York from 2016 to 2018 before landing the head coaching position at Mount Holyoke. So here we have 2 free throws coming up at the line. Murray Tona, first one is good for the junior forward from Portland, Maine. Her season high is 4 points against UMass Boston on New Year's Eve. Career high, 5 points against MCLA, and she is on the board for 2 right now. Approaching 2 minutes left to go before halftime. Just 10 points allowed so far for the Wheaton College defense. We could see them inside towards the program record history books if they keep it up, and now up to 12 here for Mount Holyoke. Wheaton's 10 best defensive games as a program were all by allowing opponents to 29 points or fewer. We'll see if they can limit Mount Holyoke to that today. Missed turnaround, offensive rebound. Tona going up. She'll draw the blocking foul. So 2 more free throws coming up here at the line for Wheaton. And Mount Holyoke limited to just 29 points total. And a 48-point blowout loss on the road at Salve Regina on Saturday. 77-29 was the final score in that game. First free throw, around and out, missed by Tona. Eight and 1 record this season for Wheaton when they've allowed opponents to 67 points or less. All 8 of those victories by allowing opponents to 67 points or less. That only outlier came against Williams College, 52-42 in a road game in early December. Second one was good. 23-point advantage. Mount Holyoke inside the key with 1:20 left to go. And now on top with Katie Raw, the junior guard from Douglaston, New York, as she drives downhill, draws the contact and the foul. So Raw here will head to the free throw line, shoot 2 from Mount Holyoke. First make of the free throw line. That's the first make as a team here for Mount Holyoke, now 1 for 5 at the charity stripe today. Second free throw is good by Raw to put the score 35-14. Right now, Wheaton's +5 on the glass, 21-16. They forced 13 Mount Holyoke turnovers so far. Nia Boston, a career high 11 points, making 3 triples. At the wing with Dewey. Dewey's got 2 so far off a runner, but yet to connect on the 3. 0 for 3 from the perimeter. Dewey takes the 3 at the wing. It's up. Off the back rim, no good. Offensive rebound, Arnold. Off the glass, missed. A rebound secured there by Taberski from Mount Holyoke. 45 seconds left to go now before halftime. Mount Holyoke, much better second quarter than the one in the first, as it was a 25-4 first quarter in favor of Wheaton. Turnover committed there by Mount Holyoke for the 14th time so far in this game. A 13-second differential between shot clock and game clock to close out the end of the second quarter. Fernandez, baseline dribble. Fernandez missed the first one, got it back though underneath. Bounce pass inside Tona. Off to the cutter, Arnold at the rim, couldn't finish, tipped up, and Mount Holyoke came up with it. Resilient possession, even though they couldn't score right there, able to come up with 2 offensive rebounds for Wheaton in that possession. 10 seconds left to go before halftime. Mount Holyoke looking for a building block. Here's a team. They overshot as it goes out of bounds in the corner 3. Tapped out of bounds by Wheaton, though, so Mount Holyoke will have it with 4.7 left to go before halftime. Hannah going the inbound passer, looking to drop something here for the final offensive play before halftime. They moved it underneath. Jumper deep 2 at the buzzer. Off the back rim, no good. Missed by Jamison Dean. We close out going to halftime. It is all Wheaton College. 35-14 Wheaton. A commanding 21-point lead to the first half of action here inside the Emerson Gym at the Haas Athletic Center. Excellent game so far with a career high 11 points, making 3 threes by Anaya Boston for Wheaton. Off the bench, she is 4 for 5 shooting from the floor. Wheaton with their 3-point magic in them so far, shooting 5 for 13 from the perimeter. 8 points by Regan Cater, making 2 threes. Nasha Arnold with 6 points, 5 rebounds. Abby Fernandez, 3 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals. Murray Tona with 3 points. Madeline Dewey with 2. Kenneth Jasperson with 2 points as well. And back to Cater's stat line. She had 4 blocks in the first half of action. All 4 of her blocks coming in the first quarter for Cater, with 8 points for her. Boston leads the way with 11. Wheaton College, excellent game for them, shooting 38.5% from the perimeter, leading points in the paint 14-8, leading bench points 16-8, and forcing Mount Holyoke into 14 turnovers, and able to score 9 points off of those 14 Mount Holyoke turnovers. We go into halftime, 35-14 to score, as we'll be back for the second half here in around 14 minutes on the NewMax Sports Network. And welcome back inside the Emerson Gym at the Haas Athletic Center in the campus of Wheaton College in Norton, Massachusetts. Dominant first half of action for the home squad, the Wheaton College Lions. Wheaton College leads 35-14 in conference action against Mount Holyoke College tonight on this Wednesday night. An excellent first half as well by Anaya Boston, career high 11 points on 4 for 5 shooting, 3 for 4 from the perimeter by Boston, getting into a rhythm. Great stroke from the corner so far this game, knocking down 3 triples by Boston. Wheaton College with 7 different scores in the first half of action, propelled by their defense, allowing Mount Holyoke to shoot just 5 for 24 from the floor at under 21%. So far, shooting for Mount Holyoke, yet to make a 3 for Mount Holyoke either, at 0 for 4 from the perimeter. Wheaton College making their triples, 5 for 13 from the outside, 38.5% in the first half. They're 13 of 37 shooting at just under 35% currently from the floor. And right now, if Wheaton College keeps up this defense that they are and limits Mount Holyoke into the 20s in this game, this would go down as a top 10 performance in program history for fewest points scored against. Right now, that record was 14 points allowed in a single game against the City College in New York back in 1996. But games against Mount Holyoke in 2020 and 2016 hold the number 2 and number 3 spots in the Wheaton College program all-time rankings in the fewest points allowed to an opponent in a single game. Wheaton College back in 2020 won a dominant game, 81-21 against Mount Holyoke. And then in 2016, Wheaton won against Mount Holyoke again, 73-22. So those 2 spots on Wheaton College's all-time program list for fewest points allowed ranked number 2 and number 3 behind the 14 points, which is the fewest points allowed against the City College in New York back in 1996. Their top 10 of that list goes all the way up to 29 points, the fewest that they've allowed this season. It's been 32 against Plymouth State back on January the 4th. The previous 4 out of 5 games for Wheaton, they've allowed their opponents to 50 points or less. For the Lions, victories over Gordon 58-49 on December 29th, a victory over UMass Boston in the road game 49-45 on New Year's Eve. They won against Plymouth State on January the 4th, 51-32. Eastern Connecticut State 75-45 on January the 6th. That was an impressive victory because last year East Con went to the NCAA tournament. And for Wheaton right now, looking to see if they can limit Mount Holyoke to another low number once again. Mount Holyoke coming off just 29 points and a 48-point loss on the road at Salve Regina, 77-29. Right now for Mount Holyoke, Emma Goff, she leads the way. She's got 6 points currently, is the only multi-field goal player for Mount Holyoke. Everybody else with 1 field goal made or 0. Goff right now is 3 for 4 from the floor. Wheaton's top scores: Boston 11 points, Regan Cater 8 points with 4 blocks, Nasha Arnold 6 points, 5 rebounds. Back to action, right to left on the floor is Wheaton. Left to right for Mount Holyoke. Wheaton with it first with the white uniforms. Blue numbers, blue letters for the Lions. Top of the key goes to Fernandez. Fernandez dribbles up, mid-block, outside, swings it off to Young. Out to Arnold at the wing. Bounce pass down low, got deflected, intercepted by Mount Holyoke. So excellent start here to the third quarter. For Mount Holyoke, they force Wheaton into their 8th turnover. And a foul given as well. Off the reach and picked up for Wheaton. So that's charged to Tatum Young, her first personal foul. And Mount Holyoke here looking to see if they can answer to begin the second half of action. Harris losing on top now to her teammate Raw. Raw back into the hands to Harris. Guarded at the top of the key by Fernandez. Towards her left off the dribble. Shot clock's down to 8 here for Mount Holyoke. Off the crossover, driving downhill to the rim. Missed the layup, no good by Hannah Goen. So now the second possession here for Wheaton to begin the third quarter of action. They're 8-1 when they've allowed opponents to 67 points or fewer. Good look at the 3. Missed it though at the corner by Dewey. As we will have a loose ball foul picked up, charged to Wheaton, their second personal foul picked up in the quarter quickly here, and that's Tatum Young once again with her second. A lot of turnover issues this season for Mount Holyoke. They had a season low 13 in their 58-50 win over Lesley University last week, but they're averaging around 27 turnovers per game, just under 30, which ranks 412 in the nation out of 422 teams for NCAA Division III women's basketball. Jumper misfired over the rim by Latalo there for Mount Holyoke. Quick up the floor, a lot of contact. So we will have the reach and foul picked up, charged to Mount Holyoke. Now will be charged to Ava Taberski, her first personal foul of today for Mount Holyoke. So Wheaton gets the inbound. Tatum Young at the top, dribbles up, drives downhill to the rim, missed it short. Offensive rebound, put back, no good though. Arnold from point-blank range had a good opportunity to put it up, but just couldn't convert on it. Both of these teams scoreless in the third quarter so far in the first minute and 40-plus of action. As a traveling violation is committed by Latalo at the top of the free throw circle. 15th turnover now for Mount Holyoke. Wheaton's victories this season, out of the 8 total, 3 of those wins coming against CCC opponents. They're 3-0 against opponents from the Commonwealth Coast Conference. Wins over Endicott, Curry, and Gordon. Also, they're undefeated at 3-0 against opponents from the Little East. Wins over UMass Boston, Plymouth State, and EastCon. Second chance opportunity as we have a loose ball foul. Picked up down low, charged to Emma Goff. The 2 other wins coming against GNAC opponents. LaSalle and Johnson of Wales, 2-2 against GNAC opponents. Losses against Riviere and Regis. And then losses against opponents from the NESCAC, MASCAC, Liberty League opponent with Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute in the opener. Lost their conference opener on Saturday against the U.S. Coast Guard Academy. So Wheaton looking to get on the board with their first NUMAC victory this season. Mount Holyoke gets the first bucket to start off the third quarter. Good for 2 down low for Mount Holyoke. It is Hannah Green. Dewey off the glass, misfired. Loose ball. Dewey knocked down, no call, as Mount Holyoke's able to come down with it. Katie Raw guarded at the corner by Young. Her pass intercepted, jumping up by Fernandez. Here she goes, pushing tempo. Fernandez up the floor. Off to Arnold. Arnold down low. Off the front rim, no good, as it goes right back to Mount Holyoke. So pretty good look once again by Nasha Arnold. Couldn't convert, as Wheaton here picks up the personal foul right past midcourt. 2 of Wheaton's strong suits this season happen to be free throw shooting percentage. They're top 65 in the nation. 4th in the NUMAC. Free throw shooting percentage of 72%. They're averaging 4.4 blocks per game as well. 2nd in the NUMAC, top 50 in the nation. We have a timeout here taken on the floor right now, with 7 minutes left to go in the third quarter. 35-16, Wheaton leads against Mount Holyoke. We'll be back in a couple moments on the NUMAC Sports Network. Dominant game so far by Wheaton College, but still they've yet to score so far in this third quarter of action, as we're 3 minutes in approximately. Quick update around the NUMAC. MIT leading Clark 43-37. Wheaton taking on Clark next Wednesday. Emerson tied up against Wellesley at 27 at the start of the third quarter. Coast Guard holding on to a 2-point advantage on the road at Springfield. Springfield receiving votes this week. Both of those teams with the same identical records at 12-3. And a steal. Great hustle play right there at the free throw circle, as that is Abby Fernandez who came down with a steal. Loose ball up the floor though, as it got deflected back into the hands of Mount Holyoke. Smith with a 6-point lead at the moment against Babson, 32-26. Smith ranked at number 16 in the latest women's basketball D3hoops.com poll. Down the far side of the floor, Wheaton picks up the reach and follow. That's number 3 now as a team in this third quarter. After this game, the schedule really tightens up for Wheaton, as they got Smith coming in on Saturday, number 16 in the nation in the home game here inside of Emerson Gym. After that, they got Clark. who's won 5 straight games in a row, entering that matchup against MIT tonight. And then number 44 ranked Springfield on January 27th. The floater off the back rim, no good. Missed by Mount Holyoke by Hannah Green as Wheaton has it quick up the floor. Fernandez thought about it, decided not to take the three. Kick to the corner, open three. Boston comes up short. She has been on her 3-point game today, just not that time though. Rushed her shooting motion by Anaya Boston from the corner, but she's the lone player in this game tonight. Double figures, 11 points, 3 made threes. Hannah Green outside to the wing of the perimeter, into the hands to Harris. Mount Holyoke searching for answers offensively as they'll head back to the line, shoot 2. Emma Goff, 2 free throws coming up. So this is a Mount Holyoke squad that has really struggled this season for them, ranking last place in the NUMAC in multiple statistical categories, ranking in the 400s nationally in free throw makes per game, averaging around 6 free throw makes per game. Right now they are 50% at the line, 4 for 8. Under 50 right now, 4 for 9 off that missed free throw. Free throw attempts per game, they average just over 10.5, which is in the 400s column. Wheaton actually has attempted fewer free throws than Mount Holyoke right now, though. Wheaton is 4 for 6 at the charity stripe. Mount Holyoke bricked them both, deflected out of bounds by Wheaton, so it's going to stay Mount Holyoke ball. Now Mount Holyoke 40% at the line tonight, 4 for 10. Other statistical categories that they struggled upon has been their offense, 42.6 points per game they averaged this season, and in road games they've been worse, averaging 40.4 points per game in road games. They're winless on the road at 0-8, record of 2-13 overall. Step back jumper, missed off the rim, short out of bounds by Barano. Also in the 400s in the nation in steals per game, a negative 14.4 turnover margin, and also averaging above 27 turnovers per game puts him in the 400s. Wheaton yet to score so far in this quarter. Boston commits the traveling violation. So this has turned out to be just a defensive grind here of a quarter as we're almost midway into the third with 5:08 left to go in this third quarter, and 35-16. Wheaton yet to score. Mount Holyoke with just 2. Intercepted inside the key here by Wheaton by Kiernan. Up the floor, Jasperson ahead. Shoveled on top, open 3 straight away. Kiernan splashes it. It's good for the 3 by Emma Kiernan, assisted by Riley Sprague. Good to see some bench impact right there. Riley Sprague off a great crossover at the baseline, just folded defense and then shoveled it back out to the top, recorded the assist off the Kiernan. Wheaton on fire from the perimeter. That's their 6th made 3 of the game right now. Their season high is 10 against Eastern Connecticut State. Top of the key with Hannah Goen. Goen, dribble drive down the lane inside. Ripped out of bounds. Last touch by Sprague. That's the defense that we know for Wheaton College this season. Tough and physical. Right now really showing something with Riley Sprague making her 11th appearance this season. Season high 6 points against Regis College. Back in 2022, she made 4 threes in the career high 14 in a close loss against Springfield. Deep 2 jumper. It goes down by Marley Barano, the junior guard from Lady Lake, Florida. Her career high 16 points against Dean College back in 2022. Jasperson, hand off to Sprague around the wing. Dribbles towards her left, sends it out to the corner. Boston catch and fire 3. Missed off the back rim. Loose ball. Boston collects it. Boston goes up. Boston gets fouled. Excellent hustle today on the floor by number 11, Anaya Boston, in our first season from Linden, New Jersey. 2 shots coming up the line by Boston, breaking a new career high today, which she entered previously today with 5. She's got 11 right now, and she's the lone player in double figures tonight in this entire game. Now up to 12. Joel's the first one. Boston now 5 for 7 this season at the free throw line. Also with 3 rebounds, 2 steals today, playing 15 minutes. Rounded out on the second free throw. Wheaton board and doubling Mount Holyoke currently. Handoff around the perimeter. Goff drives downhill. And it's an offensive foul. Emma Goff commits the personal foul. Maddie Mueller down low takes the charge. It will go back to Wheaton. Wheaton College is stumping Mount Holyoke in this game, limiting Mount Holyoke to 23% shooting and now 19 turnovers committed by Mount Holyoke. Boston, jumper, 18-footer straight away. She drills it. Anaya Boston, big game by her today, coming out and balling. Adding to her new career high, up to 14, the game leader. And a traveling violation committed by Mount Holyoke. Turnover number 20 of the game here for Mount Holyoke as Wheaton will have it back. This is a Mount Holyoke squad that just has been struggling to get any sort of offense going on. They have 3 players in a trio for the top 3 scores, but they all average under 7 points per game this season between Taryn White, Libby Harris, and Emma Goff as Wheaton commits the traveling violation. 2-3 record in single-digit games for Mount Holyoke. This one far from it, though. They picked up their lone 2 wins against MCLA in a home win, 54-53 on December 2nd. That's their best win all season long, 4-12 record for MCLA. Libby Harris made the game-winning 3-point shot with 30 seconds left. As Wheaton here gives the reach-in foul on the far side of the floor. That's now personal foul that is number 5 picked up now. So this will be free throws at the line in the bonus as it updates over to 5. The other win for Mount Holyoke came against Leslie University, 58-50. That was last week on January the 9th. Leslie is winless this season, 0-14 record. Mount Holyoke committed a season best, season fewest, 13 turnovers. Both of them good at the free throw line by Hannah Goen, the first-year guard from New London, New Hampshire. For Wheaton, they've recorded 2 really impressive victories this season. One of them being against Endicott. This ball gets intercepted. Out to the races. Goff ahead of the pack. Got the layup as the whole bench explodes here for Mount Holyoke. Starting to get on a little bit of a run here for Mount Holyoke. 41-22 down to under 2.5 left to play in the third. Jasperson, crossover at the wing. Sends it on top to Boston. The hot hand today. Dribble drive. Down the lane inside. Wild shot. Put back chances there. Up and in off the glass. Good for 2 by Maddie Mueller, the senior forward from Carver, Massachusetts. Everybody helping out everybody today in this matchup for Wheaton. Deep team, that's been their key this season. It's been bench points averaging just under 19. 8 different scores today in this matchup for Wheaton College. As Wheaton commits the personal foul. That's on Jasperson, her second personal foul, and Wheaton here over the limit. So this will be 2 free throws coming up at the line for Mount Holyoke. Jasperson checks out of the game. Same as Emma Kiernan right now and Anaya Boston as well. So 3 new substitutes on the floor for Wheaton. As Tatum Young comes back in. Murray Tona on the floor as well. The first free throw is made by Teo Howell, the senior guard from Florence, South Carolina. Skipped around the rim and out, missed the second one. Offensive rebound hauled in. As it got deflected out of bounds by Mueller. So Mount Holyoke will maintain possession down by 20. The difference maker in this game was the red-hot start for Wheaton in the first quarter. 25-4 first quarter advantage. Mount Holyoke has competed right with Wheaton in the second and the third quarter. And they get the bucket off the inbound, and it's good up and in off the glass by Burano. The whole bench once again exploding here for Mount Holyoke. Jumper, deep 2 baseline, Fernandez. Off the mark, misfired. Rebound controlled by Howell. Abby Fernandez just 3 points and 1 for 7 shooting today. This was a type of game to a get-it-right type of game, but so far really struggling from the floor. Season high is 19 for her. Top of the key to 3, sinks through. That is good by Jamison Dean. That's the first made 3 of the game for Mount Holyoke. 15-point game. Down the lane inside. Up and in off the backboard. Tatum Young gets the layup. Scoring really starting to pick up right now. Every single time Mount Holyoke scores, their bench erupts. They average around 42 points per game. Step back jumper. Kiss off the glass. That goes in by Marley Barano, the junior guard from Lady Lake, Florida. Last year, Barano scored a team-high 13 points. Wheaton's three comes short. Tona out of bounds with it. As Young airballed it, and Mount Holyoke creeping a little bit back in, 45-30 right now in this matchup. 47 seconds left to go. Currently in the third. Hang it in. The balance right now for Mount Holyoke. 2 wins this season for Mount Holyoke against MCLA and Leslie University. Up fake at the top. The pass goes down low underneath off the pivots. And Toda commits the blocking foul. Emma Goff going down low off the footwork, drawing the shooting foul as Goff will shoot 2 here at the free throw line. Goff has a chance here to put double digits on the board for her today, individually. Right now she's got 8 points. Hannah Goen with 8, the top 2 scorers tonight for Mount Holyoke. As a team, they've struggled at the free throw line. They've left 7 points off the board, 7 for 14. Right now at the charity stripe. First one's good. That's the first free throw made today by Emma Goff. She's got 9.7 rebounds, the top rebounder. 1 for 5 right now at the free throw line. This game getting really interesting as of late. Second shots. Off the back rim, no good. Tona collects the defensive rebounds. Largest lead was 24 by Wheaton. Not too long ago, led 34-10. Intercepted by Mount Holyoke. Out to the races, off the spin move. Missed the layup, no good though. Had a chance to convert by Emma Goff. Though they will head back to the... Or that will be on Emma Goff down low off the rebound. So that will be personal foul number 3 picked up this quarter by Mount Holyoke. Tona here going to head to the free throw line as well. So 45-31. First one missed at the line by Tona. Tona, a junior forward from Portland, Maine. Right now she's got 3. Her season high is 4 against UMass Boston, career high 5 against MCLA, and she drills the free throw. She ties that season high right now for Tona. 15-point cushion for Wheaton. 10 seconds left to go with the quarter. Barano, top of the key, sends it off to her right. Here's a 3 with space. Off the mark, no good. Missed by Dean. Chance here. And missed wide at the buzzer for Mount Holyoke as we close out at the end of 3. Mount Holyoke, though, with their best quarter yet so far in this game, making things interesting right now. Wheaton College, a 15-point advantage. Mount Holyoke outscored Wheaton in the third quarter, 17-11. 3 quarters in the books. Sanaya Boston, the top scorer, lone player in double figures so far tonight. She's got 14 for Wheaton College, a career high. As we enter the fourth quarter coming up here, we'll be back in a couple moments on the NewMax Sports Network. Wheaton College holding on to a 15-point advantage as we're about to start the fourth quarter of action inside the Emerson Gym at the Haas Athletic Center here. I'm Sal Lopez in the call today. Welcome back in on the NewMax Sports Network. Wheaton with a big first quarter. That's a major reason why they're up. They shot the ball to blistering hot 55.6% in the first quarter, outscoring Mount Holyoke 25-4. After that, second and third quarters, Mount Holyoke has outscored Wheaton 27-21 right now, 10-10 in the second quarter, and then a great third quarter by Mount Holyoke, scoring 17 points, limiting Wheaton to 11 points in the third. Back to action, Teo Howell sends it off for a deep 2 jumper. They got it. Ava Taberski, the first-year guard from Wynwood, Pennsylvania, launched down the deep J and delivered. And a traveling violation committed by Fernandez. 15th turnover now in the game by Wheaton. 20 turnovers tonight by Mount Holyoke. Wheaton with the upper hand, +7 on the glass currently, 36-29. They lead assist numbers 9-5, and the three ball has been the major difference. You look at the end of this game, Wheaton 6 for 18 from the perimeter. Mount Holyoke is 1 for 5 tonight. Teo Howell, top of the key, down 13, looking to cut it. Howell floats up the shot, good to go. It's good for 2. Mount Holyoke looking for an inner run right now in this game. They trailed as many by 24, now down to 11. 9 minutes left to go. Jasperson, bounce pass off the Cater. Cater towards her left. Handoff goes over to Dewey. Dewey sends it on top off to Jasperson. Jasperson, handoff around the perimeter. Arnold, kick out, baseline jumper. Cater, off the rim, no good. A rebound pulled away by Barano. 8:40 left to go. Chance to pull within single digits here from Mount Holyoke. Looked like they were not in this game at all as they trailed 25-4 at the end of the first quarter. And they will head to the free throw line and shoot 2. Getting to the free throw line today aplenty. 8 for 16 at the charity stripe. Critical missed free throws, because if you make all those free throws, you are looking at a 3-point game right now instead of a double-digit game at the moment. 2 shots here by Marley Barano at the free throw line. First one bounces in. It's good. Barano up to 7 now. Second shot, gutted the drop. Single digits right now for Mount Holyoke. They trailed as many by 24, 34-10, with around 2 minutes left to play before halftime. At the wing, Jasperson moves it on top off to Dewey. Dewey, dribble drive. Called in the travel. It will go right back over to Mount Holyoke. 16th turnover now of the game for Wheaton. Also, they got 4 timeouts left. Both of these teams with 4 timeouts remaining. You would think that they would at least burn one here, since this game has got rather interesting. What was a blowout lead by Wheaton has turned into a Mount Holyoke opportunity to come back. They've been doing a better job keeping the basketball out in front, until right there they turned it over off the backdoor cutter. So it will go right back to Wheaton in a 9-point game at the moment. Wheaton College 4-1 in their previous 5 games. All 4 victories. They've allowed their opponents to 50 points or fewer in all 4 of those wins. They've won 2 straight on their home court, looking to go 2 games above 500. The swing out to the wing. Jasperson moves it on top. Fernandez, bounce pass corner. Open 3, Boston. Off the rim, no good. Battle for the rebound. She came down with it. Flung it to the Howell, who came up with the basketball from Mount Holyoke. Howell, quick up the floor, drives, attack. So nice dump off down low, the find. Up and then off the backboard. It's good for 2 by Hannah Goen. Too close for comfort. 2 possession lead at the moment for Wheaton. Boston. Outside Fernandez, looking to see if she can get something. Slices defenders right to the rim, scores. Up and then off the glass. Good for 2 by Abby Fernandez. That's a great sign to see right there. She's up to now just 5 points in this game. She had been the top scorer on this team for quite a while this season, as Wheaton picks up the loose ball foul on the far side of the floor. Charge to Fernandez, her second. So Fernandez right now with the games in the line. She is picking it up. And did that right there, going downhill to the rim. Just 2 for 8 from the floor today with only 5 points. Looking to get back in the groove, though, as we have 7 minutes left to go. Mount Holyoke, crossover behind the back by Barano. Launches the deep 2. Off the rim, no good. Rebound pulled in by Jasperson. Jasperson, only 2 points today. Has only attempted 1 3, but shooting the ball greater than 35% this season from the perimeter. As we will have a personal foul picked up away from the basketball, charged to Mount Holyoke. Clock stopped with 6:47 left to go. So this game could very well come down to single-digit games. Hard to imagine after a 24-point lead at one point for Wheaton, but Wheaton excellent in games decided by 10 points or fewer this season. 6-2 record, wins over LaSalle University, Endicott, Johnson & Wales, Curry College, Gordon College, and UMass Boston. The 2 losses by 10 points or fewer came against Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute in the opener, and also on the road at Williams College, 52-42. Fernandez, top of the key, calling for the offensive set right now off the screen. Takes the jumper deep 2, connects on it. That's a big-time shot right there by Abby Fernandez. Drills down the J at the elbow. Running the offense right through Fernandez right now. That is absolutely critical for Wheaton, as she has been able to be clutch as of late. And a turnover committed past midcourt charge to Mount Holyoke. Mount Holyoke, record in close games this season, 2-3 in single-digit games. Wins over MCLA and Leslie, their lone 2 victories this season. 54-53 over MCLA, 58-50 over Leslie. Up and in off the glass behind the defense. Nasha Arnold scores for 2. 4-zip run by Wheaton. 6:03 left to go in the fourth quarter right now as Mount Holyoke takes a timeout on the floor. Mount Holyoke, those 3 losses in single digits came against Dean College, New England College, and Bard College. We take a look here at the upcoming schedules. Wheaton College schedule gets extremely challenging. Next 3 opponents, combined record of 35-9 overall. Coming up on Saturday, 1 p.m., Wheaton is hosting the number 16 ranked team in the nation, the Smith College Pioneers. Here in their home floor, Smith College, record of 12-2. 2023 NEWMAC Tournament champions last season. They went all the way to the Final Four last year. Next road game for Wheaton, Wednesday, 7 p.m. next week, on the road at Clark University out in Worcester. Clark coming off 5 straight victories in a row. And then Saturday, January 27th at 1 p.m., Wheaton on the road at number 44 ranked Springfield College, receiving votes this week at 12-3 overall. Mount Holyoke, Saturday they are hosting Clark at 1 p.m. Next Wednesday, also hosting a game versus WPI. And then the next road game for Mount Holyoke is on the road at MIT in Cambridge on January 27th. Turnover committed by Mount Holyoke. Coming down to the home stretch in this game, and Mount Holyoke starting to commit turnovers right now. It's allowed to open up the door for Wheaton, as once was a 9-point game has turned into a 13-point lead. Anaya Boston flings it across the floor. Arnold draws a double team outside into the hands to Jasperson. Fernandez calls for it. She's open. Bounce pass, receives it underneath. Double teamed. Draws the blocking foul. And there'll be 2 coming up at the free throw line for Abby Fernandez. Man, she has been clutch or what? Stepping up big time in the final 8 minutes of this game right now. Getting on the scoring run herself for Fernandez lately. The bucket prior was good by Arnold, and the first free throw is good here by Fernandez. 8 points now by Fernandez. Second one no good. So she's really started to pick it up since Mount Holyoke drew Wheaton 6 at one point in this game, and now Wheaton's up by 14. Approaching the 5-minute mark left to go. Tough shots off the corner of the glass, missed by Mount Holyoke, and they get a 5-on-4 up the floor. Fernandez, jumper, low block, hits off the glass, scores, up and in off the backboard. Just take it over right now. Downhill on the defense, Fernandez picks up the reach-in foul. And that'll be her 3rd personal foul right now. Fernandez up to now 10 points total in today's game. The 2nd player to reach double figures for Wheaton. 14 by Anaya Boston, the career high, making 3 threes. Hannah Gowen's got 10, the leading scorer for Mount Holyoke. Hannah Gowen becomes the 17th individual double-digit scorer this season for Mount Holyoke in a game. Sounds quite weird because Mount Holyoke's in their 16th game this season, as that is good on the layup made by Tio Howell. 4.5 left to go. 14-point advantage currently for Wheaton. Boston moves it outside. Mueller dribbles up. Deep 2 jumper. Off the back rim, no good. A rebound hauled in by Mount Holyoke. Mount Holyoke going to slow down the basketball. They're down by 14 right now with critical time coming off the clock. Away from the ball, and Wheaton picks up their 4th personal foul. So Nasha Arnold commits the personal foul. And Wheaton College looking to improve to a record of 9-7 overall this season. And looking for their 5th victory out of 6 by holding an opponent to under 50 points per game. Right now, Mount Holyoke, 3 points shy of their season average, around 44 to get 41. They are above their road point average scoring, which is just above 40 points per game, which they've been limited in 8 road games entering tonight's. Outside to Kiernan, push out to the left corner into the hands to Boston. Posting up is Cater. If they decide to go that way, inside Kiernan will dribble attack, swings it out to Boston, touch pass baseline, Cater, jumper, connects on it. Off the catch and fire at the baseline for 2 by Regan Cater. She is up to 10 double figures. Boston with 14, Fernandez with 10. Cater gets up to 10 right now. She had 4 blocks in the first quarter. Big impact defensively by Cater she has made today, especially early on. Fernandez, they target, and Fernandez picks up personal foul. Number 4 right now in deep foul trouble. Lucky for Wheaton is that they have a 16-point lead with 3:13 left to go. After scoring 25 points, though, in the first quarter, Wheaton was on pace for 100. Their offense slowed down to just 10 in the second quarter, 11 in the third, 11 in the fourth currently. Splitting the free throws to the line by Tio Howell. Boston came down with a defensive rebound, and we'll have post-game interview after this one. Anaya Boston, career high, 14 points, made 3 threes in the opening half. 5 for 10 currently from the floor. Fernandez, she's got 10 right now as she attacks, looks for 12. Right to the rim, scores. If they'll count it, up and in off the glass. For Abby Fernandez, they will, +1. The and one coming up right there as she has completely taken over this game. In the fourth quarter of action for Fernandez. Going downhill to the rim. And their jumper hasn't been able to convert. Usually is able to get going in the mid-range. Makes the free throw by Fernandez. 13 points right now for Fernandez. Fernandez tied a program record with a career high 37 points and 10 steals against Eastern Nazarene College. Back in 2022, that was tied for first most points in program history. First most steals tied for as well in a single game in program history for Fernandez. 2.5 left to go. Fernandez is going to slow down the basketball with a comfortable 18-point advantage here for the home team. Cater, handoff around the perimeter. Goes outside Fernandez, going to try a 3. Off the back rim, no good. And the loose ball foul picked up, charged to Wheaton. So this will go in Mount Holyoke's direction. It will be on Regan Cater with her 4th personal foul. And if this game was a close game, this would be very worrisome for 2 of the key players for Wheaton, Regan Cater and Abby Fernandez, both with 4 personal fouls. But right now, Wheaton got this game in hands as they will jump up to 2 games above 500 on the season for the Lions. That is the most wins that they have been above 500, tied with what they were after the Eastern Connecticut State game, entering the Coast Guard game last week. Splitting the free throws to the line from Mount Holyoke with Jamison Dean as we're down to 2:15 left to go. 2 really good victories this season for Wheaton. Their best one came against Endicott in the road game out in Beverly, 59-57 on November 18th. Endicott 9-5 record as they've won 8 straight games in a row. Other win came against LaSalle University, 66-61 on the road in Newton. LaSalle record of 8-6 currently this season. And for the Lions, they will improve to 9-7 for Wheaton College after the end of this game, but will pick up their first NEWMAC Conference victory this season. And also, they will win their 3rd straight home game. It had been almost a year since they had won a home game, since January 28, 2023 against Clark, going into that home game on January 4th this year against Plymouth State, which they picked up the home win. That snapped a home losing streak going back 11 months And now Wheaton will win their third straight game at home after starting off 3-3. After starting off 0-3 in their home floor, they will now be 3-3 at home this season. Down to a minute 35 left to go. As we will have a timeout here taken to the floor by head coach Allison Cherno for Wheaton College. So upcoming, we will have Wheaton College post-game, as I'll be interviewing Anaya Boston, career high 14 points. 3 for 7 from the perimeter today by Boston. Big spark from the bench today in this matchup. She's responsible for 14 of the 25 total bench points for Wheaton College. And a dominant victory for Wheaton. Mount Holyoke crept in, made it a 6-point game at one point in the early stage of this fourth quarter, but Wheaton able to go on a large run right now and up it to a 17-point lead. 60-43 to score. We'll be back in a couple moments for the final 1:34 of action here on the NewMax Sports Network. Resilient victory for Wheaton College today as we welcome you back inside the Emerson Gym at the Haas Athletic Center here, because Mount Holyoke, they were coming. They cut the deficit to 6 at one point in this early stage of the fourth quarter. Wheaton led as many by 24 at one point, 34-10. And thank goodness for a great start in this game for Wheaton, or the result could have been something different. The three, taken at the top of the key, bounced off the back rim, sunk down. It's good by Riley Sprague, and a 3-ball. Sprague on the board right now. That's our first made field goal of the game, as Wheaton has gone multiple players deep. 12 players have scored in this game now for Wheaton. That's been the key this season, ranking top 3 in the conference in bench points per game, just under 19 bench points per game. They've got now 28 points via the bench in this matchup. The 3-ball been working out in their favor today. 7th made 3 out of 21 attempts, just above 30% from the perimeter by Wheaton. 20-point advantage. Thank goodness for Wheaton that they had a 25-point first quarter. That really helped out the cause as they came out red hot. They were firing and making their shots, over 55% shooting in the first quarter. Outscored Mount Holyoke 25-4. As Wheaton commits to travel down to 45 seconds now. Wheaton had their best defensive quarter in the first, allowing Mount Holyoke to 15% shooting from the floor. And that first quarter being a major difference maker, because the rest of this game down the stretch has been rather close between these two teams. Back and forth. Just the first quarter, a major difference, where Wheaton led by 21 at the end of one. And if you add up all the point totals from the second, third, and fourth quarters, then Mount Holyoke has outscored Wheaton 38-37 the rest of the way down the stretch. It would have a 1-point advantage if there wasn't a first quarter in this game. Timeout taken on the floor by Mount Holyoke. 45 seconds left to go. Wheaton College, 20-point lead as they'll be improving to 9-7 overall, 1-1 in the NewMac. We'll be back for the final 45 seconds here on the NewMac Sports Network. Back to action here inside the Emerson Gym at the Haas Athletic Center on the campus of Wheaton College in Norton, Massachusetts. Sal Lopez today on the call on the NewMax Sports Network. Final 45 seconds of action right now. Teal Howell, 8 points for her today. At the wing as she is guarded by Sydney Ropes. Jamison Dean made a 3 earlier in this game. Wheaton will pick up a personal foul away from the basketball. on the floor. So that is charged to Cheyenne Colbert. And this will send Mount Holyoke to the free throw line. Mount Holyoke today with 22 total free throws at the moment. That's something that was a big key of emphasis entering this game for Mount Holyoke. They drilled the first one with Ava Taberski. Really struggling to generate fouls this season and head to the charity stripe as Mount Holyoke came into this game averaging just 10.53 free throw attempts per game, only averaging around 6 free throw makes per game, but they make them both, and they have doubled both of those numbers tonight. Now 14-24 at the free throw line, 18-point game with under 30 seconds left. Colbert. As Mount Holyoke gives a foul, clock stops with 19.4 seconds. Schedule gets significantly difficult after this one for Wheaton College. 35-9 overall record. 3 combined opponents after this. Hosting number 16 ranked Smith College on Saturday at 1 p.m. in their next matchup, a Final Four NCAA tournament team from last season for Smith. The NEWMAC tournament champions from last season. After that, Wheaton taking on Clark, who came into today's matchup against MIT, winning 5 straight games for Clark. That's next Wednesday at 7 p.m. And then Wheaton on Saturday, January 27th, they're on the road at number 44 ranked Springfield, receiving votes for the first time this season, a record of 12-3. Quick update around the NEWMAC Conference scoreboard as we have a timeout taken on the floor. MIT picked up a victory on the road at Clark today, 78-63. So Clark's 5-game winning streak has been snapped. Emerson in a close game against Wellesley, as this game looks like it has just gone final. Very close to. There's 1 second of action remaining. Emerson holding on to a 2-point lead against Wellesley, 56-54, with 1 second left to go in that game. Coast Guard pulled off the upset against number 44 ranked Springfield tonight, 51-48 the final. Coast Guard improves to a record of 13-3. Springfield drops to 12-4 this season. And then Smith, down to 30 seconds left to go, 14-point lead. Will go 2-0 in NEWMAC play and will be 13-2 for Smith. The number 16 team ranked team in the nation, leading Babson in the final 30 seconds, 64-50. Here we are, 15 seconds left to go. Wheaton College will improve to a record of 9-7 overall. Mount Holyoke drops to 2-14 overall this season. And a big first quarter with a red-hot start propelled Wheaton College to get out, get ahead, stay ahead, and pick up the victory. It was a 25-4 first quarter advantage. That came in big time in this matchup because Wheaton wins by 19, 64-45 the final score. Thanks so much, everybody, for joining me on the game. Sal Lopez on the NEWMAC Sports Network. Coming up after this, I'll have a post-game interview with Anaya Boston. Career-high 14 points, 5 for 10 from the floor, 3 made threes by Boston. One of 3 players today in double-figure scoring. Abby Fernandez took over the fourth quarter, took her team to victory after Mount Holyoke, which was once down by 24 points at one point, 34-10. Crawled back in, pulled within 6 in the early stage of the fourth quarter, and then Fernandez took over. 13 points total by Fernandez. Had a big fourth quarter to close out the game for the Lions. Regan Cater finished with 10 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 blocks for Wheaton. Nasha Arnold, top rebounder, 9 rebounds, alongside 8 points tonight for Wheaton College. Mount Holyoke top scorer Ava Taberski, she had 10. And a 9-point score by Emma Goff. We wrap up here inside the Emerson Gym at the Haas Athletic Center. Coming up, post-game interview with Anaya Boston here on the NEWMAC Sports Network. Sal Lopez today on the call as Wheaton College wins 64-45 over Mount Holyoke. Sal Lopez today on the call on the NEWMAC Sports Network. Great victory by Wheaton College today as the Lions win 64-45 against Mount Holyoke. I'm here with Anaya Boston, player of the game for Wheaton College. Great game for you out there today. Finished with a career high 14 points. How does it feel to go out there, pick up a career high tonight?
It feels great. I just went out there. My team gave me a lot of energy, so I knew I just had to bring the energy and play hard. It feels great to have a career high.
Excellent game by you. You found your stroke from the perimeter tonight. You made 3 threes from the outside. You were drilling down quarter threes. What was it like out there to be like splashing down triples?
It was great. I was working all week on my three-pointer shots, and my mom tells me to get in the gym all the time and get some shots up, so it felt great to finally see them falling.
Yes, great game by you. How's the season been? Your first year with the team. How's everything been like going like in terms of like the practices and like the new like college routine for you this season?
It's been great. The upperclassmen and all the other girls with the same class as me, they really helped me transition from high school. They tell me to work hard, and that's what I've been doing, and the coaches do a great way of proving my point. Proving that I deserve a spot on the floor.
He definitely deserved it tonight. Bench points, 14 of them, a career high by Anaya Boston. Upcoming schedule, Wheaton has Smith coming up. What are you looking forward to? Got a challenging schedule upcoming. Looking to see if you can bring your team together and see if you can take on some top opponents in the conference. What are you looking forward to with a challenging schedule?
I'm just looking forward to compete. I feel like we have a lot of energy to bring, and we're ready for whatever team that comes next.
That's what's going to happen here. Wheaton College hosting Smith. Coming up on Saturday, the next matchup, Smith, the defending NEWMAC Conference tournament champions from last year, went all the way to the Final Four. I'm here with Anaya Boston, career high 14 points today, made 3 threes. Thanks so much for joining me.
Thank you.
Yes.